Book Dragons, it's Alyssa and you're watching Pages in Ink. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul. I know that seems like, oh, look at all the books that I got and I'm probably not gonna read. But book hauls have to be some of my favorite videos to watch. I just like to see what people either spend their money on or what they're interested in that they may not always showcase on BookTube. So first, I'm going to start with some books that I received in recent book box subscriptions. So the first one is from Faerie Loot. I think this one is from March. I planned on unboxing it, but the flu, so there you go. And it's called Viper, or Isles of Storm and Sorrow Viper by Bex Hogan. This was like their second book that they had featured in their March favorites. I think that the series is Isles of Storm and Sorrow, and then this is Viper. I do love the cover. I think it's gorgeous. It is a YA fantasy novel. Also in that March favorites box was To Best the Boys by Mary Weber. It does have sprayed edges. I like that it's like a grayish green, blue, I know colors. It takes place in a world where only men can be educated and they compete for a scholarship, and a girl ends up competing. There's like a murder mystery involved and it sounds really intriguing. So this next book I know that you've seen floating all over BookTube because it came out recently. It's for some people their most anticipated release of the year. I received my version in the April Owl Crate, and that is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. It is pretty gorgeous. This is like the Owl Crate exclusive cover. I think the other version is like white, but the end pages everyone's going on about. I think they kind of remind me of curtains, and I think that's in a good way. And then this is Let Them Fear Her. So I do like the whole aesthetic of it. I know that it is being compared to Six of Crows. I think that there's an adventure. Obviously, I don't think that there's a heist, but I have heard that this is dark like Six of Crows. I do want to read it, so I am excited that it came in the Owl Crate. This isn't on a TBR to read like in the next month, but I plan on getting to it at some point this year. So the next book was in the April Faerie Loot, and that is Nocturna by Maya Motena. Has sprayed edges. So this is another YA fantasy. It is, I'm pretty sure it's a Latinx fantasy about forbidden magic. So I do collect editions of The Hobbit, and I picked up 3 different editions. The first one I've been eyeballing for a long time, and that is The Hobbit, the graphic novel, and it just makes me happy inside, and I just love the artwork, and I love The Hobbit. So had to pick this one up when I finally saw it on sale. The second one is a cloth-bound edition, and obviously it's The Hobbit by Tolkien, and it is more like a children's version, and it has artwork as well. And this would have been my dream as a child to be read this at night, but alas, I just have to read it to myself. I'll make Megs read it to me. But the illustrations are by Jemima Catlin, and they're just super cute and quaint, and it just brings back the whimsy of The Hobbit for me. This last one, Megan actually kind of forced me to buy. She knew I would regret not picking it up, and I found it on sale, and I just really wanted it, and it fit in with my book buying budget. And so I picked up this version of The Hobbit, and it's like a boxed version, and with a stunning cover and little speckled edges, and it just needed to be in my collection. So the rest of this pile is probably filled with books that you would not expect. I think there's a couple that make sense, and then the rest of them you're gonna be like, whoa, Alyssa, who are you? I'll explain everything in an upcoming video, but you're gonna be seeing some books on here that you would not expect me to read, let alone purchase. So the first one is one that you've seen, I've reviewed. It is expected that I would purchase that, and that is Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. I'll put a link I'm not sure which side it goes on, to my review of this book, and you can see how I felt about it and if I think that you should spend your money on it. It is a futuristic sci-fi gender-bent queer retelling of King Arthur and his knights. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Along with the whole Camelot theme, I picked up The Camelot Code, The Once and Future Geek by Mari Mancusi. I haven't seen this on BookTube. It's a middle grade read. I like middle grade reads. I think that they are very whimsical, and so sometimes I just like picking them up because they just have a certain level of magic that I think young adult and adult fantasies don't capture. But this one is about King Arthur in the future, and he Googles himself and is trying to like figure out what's going on and save the world. It's always, King Arthur is always trying to save the world, but it's a King Arthur story, so I had to pick it up. Another book I picked up was Sherwood by Megan Spooner. It says The Lady Becomes the Legend. It's a gender-bent retelling of Robin Hood. I have her other book, Hunted. I just picked that up a few months ago, and that is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I haven't gotten to it yet, so I picked this one up on the sheer fact that I love Robin Hood retellings. So I have a problem. I like to buy books. Everyone feel bad for Megan. I also got The Waking Forest by Alyssa Weiss. So this does have dual perspectives. There's a witch who lives in the magic forest, and then there's a girl who lives like in modern times, and the forest is waking and like their worlds collide. I love the idea of this. It seems very reminiscent of like a fairy tale, and we all know I love fairy tales. I may save this for a fall read just because it's warmer here now. It's like 70 degrees and sunny, and I may just wait because doesn't this just give you fall vibes? Along those lines, I picked up The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. It has been compared to Stranger Things and Riverdale and the Raven cycle, or the Raven Boys. It is about, it like follows 3 different perspectives, and there's founding families, and there's a monster that's like coming through the gray and killing people, and they have to keep them in the gray. So that's definitely a Stranger Things vibe. I'm really excited to read this. Again, this is giving me fall vibes, and it is now sunny, so I may hold off on reading this until the fall. So a couple weeks ago, I was having a really bad day, and Megs picked up Everything is Awful by Matt Bellassai for me. Oh, sorry, Everything is Awful and Other Observations by Matt Bellassai. I love his YouTube videos, and it's just filled with short essays about his life. The first one is about him like peeing his pants, and I've already picked up and read a couple of the stories in here just because I need it on my bad days. It's really funny. I recommend this to everyone. When I finish it, I'll do a full review, but I love this. I love him. Follow him on Twitter. I love him. Not along those lines, I picked up White Rose by Kip Wilson. This is about a college student in Nazi Germany who joins an activist group. I think they are called the White Rose, and fights against the Nazis in her own country with activism. And it's based on a true story. I'm very excited to get to this one. It's probably gonna make me cry. I heard about it and I just fell madly in love with her story, and I just really want to get to this and do a review, so this one speaks to my soul if you couldn't tell. I also have recently purchased In the Neighborhood of True by Susan Kaplan Carlton. This is about a Jewish teenager who in the 1950s or 60s, 1958, moves from New York to the South where she is surrounded by the KKK. In this town that she moves to, it is predominantly white Christians, and so she decides to pass herself off as a white Christian and hangs out with other white Christians, but her mom still makes her go to temple where she meets people who are activists and believe that the world should be a better place for everyone. And so she's kind of torn between these two worlds, one where it speaks to her very soul and one where she has to hide her identity. I hope that it has the story of stay true to who you really are, but we will see. So I also have Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca, and their recent release of If I'm Being Honest, by the same authors. They do like retellings of Shakespeare. The Always Never Yours is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. I think that they're like putting on a play like Romeo and Juliet. And then the If I'm Being Honest is supposed to be a little bit like 10 Things I Hate About You, which is based on The Taming of the Shrew, which happens to be one of my all-time favorite Shakespearean plays. So I've heard really good things about Always Never Yours, so I decided to pick up If I'm Being Honest, and I'll let you know what I think. We are almost done with this haul. I also picked up Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. This one got like a new cover and even a new title. I think it was previously titled Royals. And the second book is either out or it's coming out. I don't even know what this is about. I just know that there's a prince involved and royalty involved, and I love contemporaries that have royalty involved, so I picked it up. So the last book in this haul is Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. If you watched my spring tag, or I love spring tag, you know that this was one of my most anticipated spring releases. It's about a girl who gets a job at a theme park, and instead of being like the princess or like a really cool role, she gets cast as the hot dog girl. At the same time, she's trying to find love, and I know there's a female-female romance in here, and it just seems really, really sweet. So that's it for my book haul, my unasked for book haul that I am showing you anyway. If you've read any of the books that I showed you, please let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If there are any books that you are interested in that you saw, let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to join the Book Dragon family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. And as always, until next time, remember to be nice to yourself and be kind to others. Bye!